This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, sweeps to his right, gets to the 20. He's at the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's down to the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst.
Back and throw. In trouble. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs. Gets away again. Goes to the 40. Gets away again. To the 35. Back at the 30. To the 20. The 27-yard line. 49ers into the backfield. Smith on third down. His left hip. Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down and throws, and it's good! Touchdown! Touchdown 40!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, goes to Quan to the left side. It's Michael. The 49ers kicking at Navarro Bowman. He's rejecting. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater rejection.
Kaepernick shoots it. Hold everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
What is going on, faithful? Man, that intro gets me so hyped. So hyped. Guys, what's going on, man? It's Nick, 49er Faithful 365, and the guy over there is Wayne Breezy.
Yeah.
The Breeze.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Look, guys, thanks for tuning in to another fun-filled episode here at the Nothing But Niners podcast, but we got to go through those formalities. So make sure if this is your first time here on YouTube, you hit that like and subscribe button. That helps us be noticed as well, and spread the love, man. Spread the love. Nothing but love here. Same, just like Nothing But Niners, nothing but love. But anyway, give us a follow on Snapchat and Twitter. That's Nothing But 9. The number 9 ERS. Facebook and Instagram. That is Nothing But Niners, and also Twitch as well. And then nothingbutniners.com. You can check us out. We got a new writer over there, Marquise. Man, he's been spitting those facts. So make sure you guys go over there and check that out, as well as Brian on the Fan to Fan Network page. Go over there and check out that as well. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can give us a shout, NB9ERS at nothingbutniners.com. That will go to myself, Wayne, Mike. Any of those emails will go over there. And then if you guys want any of that apparel that Breezy's rocking today, you can go to shopnb9ers.com. That's the direct link, shopnb9ers.com. You can also get that on nothingbutniners.com on the shop link. So, Breezy, what's going on, man? I missed you.
I know, man. It's been crazy, man. You know, places are trying to get these last shows in before the weather hits, because here in Connecticut, they're not going to be able to have people inside. Well, the bands and live entertainment inside. So I just been trying to get this little guap while I could get it. You know what I'm saying? Christmas coming up. I need that new PS5 and Xbox. I need both of them. That's just how I work. But yeah, man, it's good to be back, man. I miss you guys, bro.
Yeah, bro. Look, it's been weird. Everybody's asking, you'll see when I'm not on the show. Where's Nick? Where's Nick?
Yep.
Where's Nick? Well, then when you're not on the show, it's like, where's Breezy? Where's Breezy? Where's Breezy?
I love it.
Same thing with Mike, right?
Yep.
Mike will be jumping in here in a few minutes, as well as Tony, I believe, will be jumping on. And then we're going to look, this is a Shoutout Saturday, man. We open up the floor to you guys. So, if you want, send a text to our telephone number, and I'll throw that brand up there, the banner. But basically, guys, what you do is just text in number is 1-628-888-3443. I'll keep that at the bottom. But what I want you to do is send a text saying, if you just have a question that you want read on the air, just text that. If you want to give us a call on the phone, just say call and we'll call you back. Or you can say video and we'll send you a link to hop on with us and shoot your facts today, right? So look, guys, this is the first primetime game coming in this week.
Time.
Myself and Mike and Ryan B from Philly Take with Ryan B, and then also Mike from Philly Talk Podcast jumped on the show the other day, and Tony as well, and we talked about this game, and we did a little bit of a breakdown on it. I haven't heard from you yet. What are your feelings going into this game? Before we get to the fans, man, I got to know what you're feeling going into this Sunday night game.
Man, thanks for asking. Listen, this is one of those. Look, whenever we play the NFC West, I never really like to count those as easy wins. I mean, the NFC East. I never like to count those as easy wins. It seems like this division likes to play us tough, but that was in the past. We're talking now. I know we still are the injury plague team. I get it. I understand that. But we got to watch our team play against a team in the NFC East on their home turf or whatever. And we got to watch Kyle put up 36 points, and Kyle and his offense, right? They put up 36 points. So I think our team is going to fare well. But you know what I did? I've been doing some research, Nick, and me checking some stats, man. You know, the Eagles, even though they are bad, they're not that bad. Like in the stats category, they just can't get any wins. And I know at the end of the day, it's all about wins. But that's why we say any given Sunday, things can happen. And I hate being the optimistic member of this nothing but Niners team. You know, something can go wrong, whatever. But I do think that Kyle Shanahan has a plan. Robert Saleh has a plan. They're going to go out there, and those players are going to execute those plans to a T. And let's just talk about, like, our weakest link last week was what? Special teams. And it was one member on the special teams. And I know somebody inboxed me and asked me, do I worry about our long snapper now that Kyle Nelson is gone? Hell no. I ain't worried about no long snapper. Listen, our long snapper is going to be fine. And at the end of the day, Nick, it can't get worse, right? Like, the only thing that could be worse than what happened last week are the balls going over the punter's head or whatever, the placeholder's head, right? I don't think that's going to happen. So, no, I'm not really worried about our long snapper, and I hope we do get better. And that seems to be like our weakest statistic on the team, actually, that special teams play.
Yeah, you know, we talked about this a little bit yesterday with the long snapper. We know how Robbie Gould reacted last year with, you know, a different long snapper and switching long snappers up in the thing. Like, look, I beg to defer a little bit. It can get worse, right? Because those points could be points that we need in the game, right? So it could get worse in that aspect, right? As for you know, do I feel there's going to be comfortability? Look, it's going to be a sticky situation, right? Obviously,
sticky icky, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be a sticky situation because anytime you change from a long snapper, it's that chemistry, right? And that's the reason why, you know, when before Mitch Wishnowsky was here, before you know, Robbie Gould had his holdout. There was a lot of chemistry there between Kyle Nelson and the holder, and as well as Robbie Gould, right? So there was a lot of chemistry. They were together for a couple years. The chemistry was good, and I'm thinking Bradley Pinion. That's what I'm thinking. When Bradley Pinion was here, those guys had that camaraderie, right? They knew the chemistry of each other. They knew how the ball was going to be snapped. Robbie Gould knows how the holder is going to hold, and things like that. So it can be kind of frustrating to see how this goes. But look, this is a stretch of football where these are things that we need to get worked out before this gauntlet. Last year we had a 3-game gauntlet. This year we have a 7-game gauntlet, right? So it doesn't get any easier, you know, within these next 2 weeks.
You know what, Nick, not to cut you off, somebody had the nerve, some fan base had a nerve to talk about the 49ers' easy schedule.
Look,
they had a nerve. I felt like, okay, so some of the games in the beginning seemed to be, you know, on paper a little bit easier, but that wasn't the plan going into the season, right? I mean, these teams are supposed to come out firepowered, full, but look at our injury list, and they still had a nerve to say that we have this easy schedule. They don't understand gauntlets because their team never has to go through them. That's what it is. So if you want to talk about that easy crap, man, get that out of here, man. The 49ers go through a gauntlet every single season, man. Every single season. It's ridiculous. You know, so don't get out of here with that crap.
You can say, you know, that, you know, winnable games, but nothing is ever easy in the NFL, right? We can just look back at last year where, you know, I said I'm just not feeling this Atlanta game. I'm just not feeling it. I just think that, you know, there's a possibility that we lose this game. And that was a game where, you know, we should have dominated. right? The way that we were playing football, and we should have just dominated. And look, this stuff happens in the NFL, right? Because you don't go into the season, and you hear Kyle Shanahan say it all the time. You don't go into a season with the same 53 in the first game of the season as you end the season with, right? And, nothing in the NFL should be easy. These are all guys that are NFL talent, have made it to the biggest stage, as in sports-wise, other than, the Super Bowl, but in the NFL, that are playing for a paycheck. You can't – anything can happen. Then you add injuries into it. You add, coach versus coach, player versus player. There are times where you should have winnable games, but I don't think anything is an easy schedule because you never know what can happen in the NFL week to week, let alone year to year. I mean, so many teams change, and that's where I kind of look back and I'm like, okay, well this is a game we should win, but that's because it's a winnable game for us, injured or not injured. I think it's a winnable game for us. I don't think it's easy by any means. I don't think these guys go out there like, oh, this is just gonna be a walk in the park. There's a lot that go into these games. So, I see Tony's in here. What up, Tone?
What's going on?
What's going on, baby?
Good morning.
What's good, man?
Mike's up in here now, finally.
The 4 horsemen in the building.
The 4 horsemen. We need to come out with a shirt like that.
That's kind of dope, yo.
Sugar, honey, iced tea. Wayne done started something already, man.
Cats ain't up on that WCW, NWA.
Look, I'm up on the 4 horsemen because when the Phillies had all the aces, they had the 4 horsemen. Okay. So you should know that.
So you don't remember the wrestling 4 horsemen, though. The Arn Andersons and the Sid Vicious. No.
Yeah, I remember them, but I don't remember it like that. I wasn't that big into wrestling.
Okay. I got to put you on the game. It's all good, baby.
I can't watch something that's so fake. Like, I just can't.
Man, growing up, you didn't think wrestling was fake. No one in this room thought wrestling was fake until they figured it out. Right? Until you figured it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? No one thought wrestling. Okay, so Mike got the
my parents were realists. They were like, yeah, listen.
I gotta have a conversation with your parents.
The other dude. I can't say because my kids kind of, they still on it.
Yeah. I was about to say something too. I'm glad you said something before it came out my mouth, bro.
Look, I mean, the theatrics of it was cool, right? And the storylines of it were cool, right? The Ultimate Warrior, going crazy things like that, right? The Bushwhacker.
Oh, so you remember your wrestlers. I see you up on that WWF at the time.
Yeah. So right. So, but look, you look at it and you as a kid, I wasn't really big in watching it. I'd go to some friends' houses and they'd be watching it like religiously. So it's just like, but hey,
at the end of the day, we the 4 horsemen, baby. And those that know wrestling know who I'm talking about. They know who I'm referencing to. All I got to do is make that sound. Whoa! And you know who one of the 4 horsemen is. Am I talking? Ric Flair, baby. Let's go. Baby.
Ric Flair. Yeah, but the Royal Rumbles were cool. They were cool. They were fun. It was a storyline, man. It was a storyline. But look, man, Mike, what's going on, man?
Same old, man. Just another day in paradise. Ready to get out here and kick some butt. Time to clip some wings, and it's going to be grounded eagles on the menu this weekend.
I think, Mike, since we're playing birds this Sunday, I'm going to definitely order about 36 wings and eat 35 of them. Leave one for my wife. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Leave one for the missus. That's wild, man. I know my wife is sitting here. She can hear us now, and she knows I have to stick with this getting wings on game day thing. I can't let it go, man. I can't.
I like that.
No, you definitely can't. When you said last week, I haven't even ordered my wings yet.
Right, to the second half.
I was like, wait, what?
They didn't come to the second. Hey, wait a minute. But let's keep it a buck. Second half, what did we do? We put the foot on the gas. Mike, I'm going to need them wings there tonight, and you preheat them joints. They don't taste the same.
I tried that. It don't work. I tried that week 1.
Wait, did you throw them in an air fryer, though?
No.
That's why.
No. Well,
I
got them old on Saturday. Week 1, and I tried to reheat them, and it didn't work. It was bad,
and we lost.
Yeah. Look, man. So Wayne, let's dig into this game a little bit.
Let's go.
Just real quick. I want to ask you some questions. You weren't on the show yet. to talk about this game. So I want to get your quick game breakdown before the final game preview. And then we'll open up the phone lines and text lines to people. I know Jason Aponte also wanted to jump on, so we'll get him on here as well. But look, man, what are your thoughts going to this game, right? So, look, the Eagles had one receiver practice all week. One.
Yeah. Number 84.
Literally one receiver.
I tell you what, I watched their game last week. You know what I'm saying? And 84 was all over the field. That's going to be his go-to guy. Him and Ertz. All you got to do is bracket Ertz, man. You know, you don't necessarily have to double cover him, but if you bracket him, you know what I'm saying? He'll be a non-factor. Sorry. He'll be a non-factor going in on Sunday, because I think that the 49ers have been playing tight ends very well. I didn't mean to just jump right into it, but you mentioned their wide receiver. So 84 is the one that stood out to me when I was rewatching their game film from last week. And he kept that game, like he kept them in the game. Also, Carson Wentz kept them in the game. And I know we don't want to talk about Carson Wentz. We think he's he's not a bum. He's just not great right now. And we do know that Carson Wentz does have a skill set. And guess what he did last week, guys? He pulled the ball down when the pocket broke down and he ran. And what do we struggle against? Containing the run. Like we're going to see it. I don't mean that they're going to call him and bring in Jalen Hurts and do all these trickery run plays like the Saints did with Taysom Hill, but it's possible. But all I'm saying is we're probably going to see that, because that is one of the 49ers' weaknesses on defense. And I think we have to be mindful and be ready to attack that. Now, the good thing is the 49ers give up rushing yards or whatever, but guess what they don't give up? They don't give up touchdowns on the ground. Like, that's something that we definitely should own in on. So, it's clear as in present danger, right? Movie title, that I'm going with the 49ers in this game, not because I'm a 49er fan. I just don't see the 49ers laying an egg against this particular team. You asked me how I thought the game is going to flow. Listen, I think in the beginning of this game, we know Kyle is a, slow, take it easy, let's see what the defense is giving me type thing. I think Kyle might go opposite. Now that he knows Nick Mullins is going to be starting this week, he might go opposite, and you might see some deep passes down the field at the very beginning to test that secondary, because the only person in their secondary that we probably have to worry about is Darius Slay, and he's playing good, but he's also has a lingering injury. So I think the 49ers come out, man, and I think they put up a 30 burger against this team easy, almost a 40 burger.
Yeah, the thing I rewatched that game last night, right? And I said I couldn't sleep, so I turned on football. I went on Game Pass. I ended up watching the game. Man, I'll tell you what, their linebackers are dismal, like bad.
I was going to say, make sure you define that for those that might not know what that means.
They are bad. Like, look,
I don't like the way they scrape.
But where does Kyle Shanahan love to attack?
The middle
of the field, right? The discipline on, and pause by that, wait, Mike, but but the discipline on this defensive side of the football, other than the front four, right, is really, really bad. It's really bad. And Kyle Shanahan, Tony talked about this yesterday, and he said, it's not about the players. It's about, I have confidence in my coach and being able to scheme up things against this defense and keeping guys like Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham held out to minimal of whatever they can do, right? So look, we both know that they're two really good football players, but Kyle Shanahan is great at executing and calling plays and putting players in position to win. Kyle Shanahan loves to attack the middle of the field, right? There were a ton of plays where, look, the Bengals dropped a ton of passes that were first down chain movers, and they were open. Guys that were, just doing their linebackers dirty. Right now, obviously, like you said, Darius Slay is probably the best defender on that team. I'm not going to take too much away from their safety because he actually played a pretty decent game as well. But look, with what we have on this team and the way that we attack, I look for that to be a focal point, is the middle of the field. more so tomorrow, right? They played a lot of man coverage last week. I'm interested to see if they come out and play man or if they do play that zone. One of the guys were talking yesterday, I'm not sure if you were on the show or not, Tony, but they were talking about how they play a sticks defense, right? So basically, 7 to 8 yards off the ball. And I asked the question as in, do you guys think that we can execute on that? So, I don't know if you guys watched any of this play or things like that, but, to touch base on Carson made some really bad throws, but he also made some really good throws in that game as well as used his feet. So, what are your overall thoughts? Miles Sanders is playing, right? We know Miles Sanders is playing, but he's coming back from a quad injury. Or is it a quad or a glute? One or the other. He has something going on. He's not completely healthy. Darius Slay's coming back off an injury. He's not completely healthy. Now, I know Deshaun Jackson isn't playing, but the first play of the game that they threw was like a 40 or 50-yard bomb to Deshaun Jackson was the very first play. It was a fake roll out, throw the ball deep, and Carson Wentz overthrew Deshaun Jackson. Now obviously Deshaun Jackson isn't the guy that he was before, and he's not playing tomorrow. But do we think that we see this kind of thing from Doug Peterson? Jump up early, throw the ball deep, test Dante Johnson, or Jason Verrett, whoever it may be. I'm just saying Dante Johnson because I think they're going to favor that side more. But do we see that even with a lack of receivers, thinking, okay, well, these guys are, playing with limited guys, but then the first thing they do is go deep on us, or in the first couple of plays. But they did it last week. Well, Tony, what are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think you're going to see it. And I definitely think you're going to see it quick, right out the gate, because they still want the 49ers to respect them to be able to still go deep. So they're gonna test them, because it's the same thing as Kyle's offense when he set up the Giants for the Trent Taylor crosser. So they're gonna go deep and they're gonna make the safeties go back. The corners are gonna be like, okay, they're still gonna try to test us, and then they're gonna try to hit the run game, hit it with a screen, stuff like that. So it's definitely their goal is to try to keep the 49ers defense honest instead of them trying to creep up and trying to jump a route or make a play that way.
I agree. They're definitely going to test the team deep, just because that's what the defense, they're going to pick on our weakness. Okay, so whether it's the safeties happen to have cover, or whether it's that one cornerback, depending if they're in man or if they're in zone or whatever, that's why I wanted to say that, like, as bad as Carson Wentz seems to be struggling, he's still not a incompetent quarterback. He's really smart. I just want to put that out there. It's just that his team is like he doesn't have much of a supporting cast. I just wanted to touch on Miles Sanders real quick. Listen, the 49ers do one thing well, and they find ways to take away the running back. The running game still give up over 100 yards on the ground. It's because we've been playing quarterbacks that's been able to get 40-yard runs and things like that. I think they have to figure out a way to contain that. And I said that earlier when I talked. But as far as Carson Wentz trying to throw deep, I think they're going to try. I think it's going to be unsuccessful. It was if you watch that game, he was unsuccessful at least 5 out of those 6 deep throws. He might have had one that was successful. It's just not there for him. He's going to try to work the middle of the field. He's going to do what Tony said earlier. He's going to roll out. Expect Carson Wentz to play like Jared Goff played in that last game against the Rams. Just expect that particular type of offense. I promise you that's going to be the game plan against the 49ers going into this week game.
Mike, your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't know what the original question was, but it sounds like we're talking about whether or not they're going to have a deep shot, right? Are they going to throw the ball downfield on us?
Their first play of the game last week, obviously Deshaun Jackson was in, but was a play action rollout deep throw downfield. Do you think that they come out trying to do that and try to catch the 49ers off guard, as in because they're playing with backup receivers and not expecting to spread the field like that?
I think their first play is going to be a Carson Wentz run to get his confidence up. Then I think the next play is going to be second and like 2. I think it's going to be a quick pass across the middle, maybe to a tight end or maybe to someone, a short route. I think they convert the first down. And then I think they have everybody waiting for the Carson Wentz run. He rolls out and he tries to dump one over, but they are going to start taking some deep shots on us. They have to. In order to keep a defense honest and off balance, you got to hit them with everything. And so I believe that Peterson can scheme up some stuff for his guys still. How successful they'll be going down the line and continuing that. You know, they always start drives to get your guy loose. It doesn't mean that's necessarily the game plan for the entire game. It's just to get some confidence going, and then you get into your bag. So I think that's how it'll be.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's all great points because obviously you want to stick to your game plan no matter who is on the field, no matter what is on the field, right? And we talk about that here with the 49ers as in, you know, are they going to simplify the playbook or, you know, because people are out, do they change their playbook? And then we talk about it, you know, Kyle, you know, babied down the playbook because such and such isn't in there, right? What will we do with such and such player in there? But the concepts are still the same, right? It's just the execution of the players that you're getting it from to where you don't have as much trust in those guys. And that's kind of where I guess I was kind of hitting at is, do you trust your guys who are, you know, coming up from a practice squad to be able to be that receiver that day? And obviously you have some trust in them because they wouldn't still be on your team or you wouldn't have called them up. But the trust to where the capabilities of, you know, I have trust in you beating this guy such and such. But it also helps that our corners are down, right? So that may give them a little bit more faith. If you had to pick one matchup in this game, right, who would that matchup be? And what are you most looking forward to in that matchup? So it could be offensively, defensively. You know, I want to see what a matchup is, and then we'll go from there. So let's start off with Wayne first, then we'll go Mike, then we'll go Tony this time.
Matchups. I got a matchup that probably none of you guys would think of, but this matchup is going to be about the coaching. Okay. I want to see if Kyle Shanahan can outcoach a Super Bowl winning coach. We know that his play skills and his play calling is there. But this is one of those games where Doug Peterson might get down to the nitty gritty, you know, and try to, you know, stop some of the things that Kyle Shanahan does. I think Kyle Shanahan will come out here. We'll see a bunch of motions. We got Debo coming back, right? We'll see motions to try to throw the defense off, to try to confuse the defense, you know, whether to play man or whether to play zone, depending on the way they line up in the motion or whatnot. I think we're going to see some more, I don't want to say trickery plays, but just more designs for guys to get open. So I think it's going to come down to the coaching, like who. I think you're going to see some trickery plays on the Eagles side to throw the 49ers defense off of their skates or whatever like that. So I think it's going to come down to that, man. That's the matchup I really want to see. Like, people are overlooking or overshadowing the coaching aspect. And I'm going to talk a little bit tomorrow on my Sizzling Sunday show when I bring up that segment. But listen, Doug Peterson is 38-28 with a Super Bowl ring. Kyle Shanahan is 25-26 with 0 Super Bowl rings. So there's experience there. Now, the teams are different, right? So that's going to amount to it. But it's going to come down to who executes best in their play calling. Will we see 75 plays this week from Kyle Shanahan? Will we see 50 plays this week from Kyle Shanahan? Like, it's going to come down to that. And I can't wait to see what the coaching is going to be like. I know that's a wild answer, but that's how I feel.
My matchup is going to be a quick and easy one. This is going to be Brandon Graham against, I think, Mike McGlinchey. I got you, Tony. Nick could pick the order. Now you got to pick somebody else. But I'm not going to say why. I think Mike McGlinchey is actually going to have a good game. I keep telling you guys, I went back and watched him last week. I thought he was better than what we gave him credit for. But this week he's going to get tested for sure. And I'll let Tony elaborate some more on it because that was clearly his pick.
Yeah, McGlinchey versus Graham. This is what we talked about, like the reason why I really don't like bigger defensive linemen, because they have if the bigger you are, you tend to stand up and your pad level raises. So with McGlinchey being 6'7" and Brandon Graham being 6'2", I'm kind of really nervous about that, because when they line up in their track stance and come off like almost like a wide 9 angle, you know, they're low. they're low and they're ready to fly off the ball. And if McGlinchey doesn't come out low, Grant's gonna get right in his chest plate and just bench press him. And that's gonna be an issue. And you're gonna see McGlinchey going back a lot, if not back all the way back on his ass. So it's very concerning for me because of the style defensive ends that they have. So being that Mike said that, I'm gonna go with Fred Warner versus Ertz and Sanders out of the backfield. That's a matchup that I really want to see, either Warner or Alexander. It depends on where they're set and lined up in the offensive formation to where they're lined up on the defensive formation. So that's what that's going to be an interesting matchup. I know Ertz isn't as fast as he was, but he's a veteran and he knows how to run those routes and create separation. And Sanders is a pretty decent receiver out of the backfield himself. So that I'm going to go with that matchup as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're all great matchups. And Mike, I'm really interested to see the Brandon Graham, Mike McGlinchey matchup as well. That is something that, could, if Mike McGlinchey doesn't have a good game, it could be a long day for the Niners offense. Right. And just to say, and I mean, it sucks to say that, but one person, that could put a burden on a game winning play or things like that. So, it was funny because Philly Talk with RB yesterday was saying he thinks that this game comes down to a fourth quarter. They give the ball back to us and Nick Mullins has to drive down the field to win the game and he doesn't do it, that the Eagles finally come up with a play. If it's coming down to that last series, that's scary. That's scary. And that means that guys like Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox have had really good games or whatever. So the matchup real quick of mine, and then I guess we can get into the shout out show. The biggest thing to me is I like the pick of Fred Warner against the backs and Zach Ertz because Dre Greenlaw's out. We know he's one of our better coverage linebackers as well. How does Quan Alexander react? Who is that guy? Is it going to be Flanagan Foles? Is it going to be
Aziz
Al-Shaair? Sorry, thank you, Wayne. I was having a brain fart there. Pause. And but yeah, so it the interesting matchup I'm looking forward to is going to be the way that I guess I'm going to say Kyle Juszczyk and their linebackers. And the reason I'm going to say Kyle Juszczyk is because obviously we're all looking forward to George Kittle. We're going to hope that Ross Dwelley does something. But I want to see how the 49ers utilize Kyle Juszczyk in this offense this week and utilize him. So I'm talking all over, not just catching the football, but his blocking ability against linebackers, the ability to open holes, how we use them out wide in the backfield or wherever we use them. I want to see how we utilize Kyle Juszczyk. So basically, I'm going to go Kyle Juszczyk against the Eagles defense and mostly their linebackers. How well does he block? How well does he open those holes? And then obviously open up that run game for us.
I just wanted to make a quick correction because I think on the show, I'm not sure if it's the overreaction show or the breakdown show. I think it was the breakdown show where we broke the game down. I think I said that Brunskill had a great block on that Brandon Ayuk play, and I was wrong, so I stand to be corrected.
Kyle Juszczyk.
It was Kyle Juszczyk, baby. It was the juice down the field. You feel me? So that's what's up.
And since we're doing corrections, one more that I think we should do. Well,
can I just break this news real quick? So Patriots quarterback Cam Newton tested positive and is out for Sunday's game.
You got to be kidding me.
Yep. Field Yates.
Wow.
So sorry for you fantasy owners.
Well, I didn't
this is why a lot of people didn't want to do fantasy this year. I know plenty of leagues that just didn't get started because of this. Reason. So
yeah, Cam Newton just was reported that Cam Newton tests positive and is out for Sunday's game. Hopefully, nobody else in that locker room as well. And look, this outbreak, man, could be something that we need to pay attention to.
Yep. All right, so let's get to the guests here. But my quick correction was I gave a lot of praise to Marcel Harris last week for special teams contributions, and he was good. But the guy that was shining to me was Moore.
Yeah, Tavares Moore.
Tavares Moore was going 8-ish last week on special teams. So we have a guy, 49ers Dion's been patiently waiting down here. We're going to give him his 2 minutes. We apologize for the delay. Thank you for being patient. I thought my man was ascending into heaven over there because I saw the light behind him. I was worried that they was taking my man away from us right in front of our eyes, man. But he's here. We're gonna spotlight the guest. Let's get him up over here. And the floor is yours, man. Sound off. Where'd he go? What happened?
Hey, what's going on, y'all, man? It's the first time I actually been on the show. Appreciate everything y'all do. Definitely love the show. Shout out to my dog Breezy right there. That's my guy, man.
What's good, Capto?
You know what I'm saying? Baby? Nick, hey, I love the weight loss journey, brother. I supported you through the whole thing. Continue to do your thing, bro. You look slick. You look smooth. Mike, man, I love when you smoke the stogies, bro. I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Everything is great. But this is going to be an easy W for us, guy. That's just my thing. I feel like we're going to win 34-6. I feel like we only give them 2 field goals. I feel like the only thing we have to worry about is their defense. Their offense is not going to be the issue. Carson Wentz, over the last 3 years, has thrown 7 interceptions in the season. We ain't even a quarter of the way through, and he's already thrown 6. He's tied with Kirk Cousins for the league lead in interceptions. This is going to be an easy W, guys. The only thing I don't want to happen is I don't need him to play so bad they throw Jalen Hurts in there, because then that's another running quarterback, and that's going to do us pretty bad. And we don't do good with running quarterbacks. But that's basically it, man. I mean, we in there. We in there like swimwear. This is the easy W. I am a little worried about Dante Johnson starting alongside Jason Verrett because I don't have a lot of confidence in him. But, I mean, what do you guys think about that right there? Because, hey, shout out to you, brother. But what do y'all think about that? Because I don't feel comfortable about it. I always think that if it's a situation where you can throw Jimmy Ward in the slot if Quan can't go, but like having Dante out there, man, that just gives me that gives me cause to pause. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all can help me out with what y'all think on that, I would really.
So your question is, how do we feel about who's playing opposite Jason Verrett? That's your question?
Yeah. What do y'all feel about that?
All right, and before I let you go, I got 2 quick questions for you. Did you see the Carlos Hyde comments on Twitter?
I did, man. Look, I ain't sweating Carlos Hyde, bro.
Okay.
Look, let Carlos Hyde be Carlos Hyde. Look, that brother, he ain't nobody worried about him. Okay, go up there in Seattle, ride their coattails. You just know that you couldn't get it done while you were here.
Okay, now what about this one here? I'm putting it up on the screen real quick. Marquise Goodwin says, I never look forward to any game over the other, but out of all weeks, I wish I was playing this week.
That's smoke right there, baby.
This is from a dude.
Wait. Slow your roll. You mean to tell me Marquise Goodwin want to smoke with the Niners?
I mean, you got to think about
so you really? Oh, okay.
They traded him, baby.
Keith. Let me say this about Keith. See, I respected him. I saw his journey. I felt for him when he had all the tragedy going on with his family. But let me tell you something, Marquise. Stay home with your kids. Stay safe and wear your mask, buddy. You don't want none of the smoke with this Niners squad. You don't want none of this smoke at all. We would take Marquise out. What you gonna do? Oh, okay. So we already know what you're gonna do. You're gonna run what they call a 9 route, which means it's a go route. That's what you run. You don't run regular routes. So what are you going to do? Come into the game to be the speedster? They have Jalen Reagor for that. Take care now. Bye, then.
I like it. I do. I get it.
Look, see, I got everybody laughing.
I like it. Yeah, man. We're gonna
don't want that smoke. Marquise Goodwin talking crap. They'll get out of here with that. We're not worried about no Marquise Goodwin, man. We ain't even worried about Jalen Reagor. We're waiting for where our arms are waiting for the interceptions that are going to be thrown by Carson Wentz. We'll welcome them with open arms. This is Kerry Hyder's going to welcome him with open arms. So is Javon Kinlaw. So is Eric Armstead. So is DJ Jones. That's how it's going to work. This is an easy dub. And I say sit Jimmy next week against Dolphins too, because we got this.
Oh my God.
Nothing else we can do. It's the Dolphins.
All right.
I like it.
That's going to do it for Dion, man. We got to answer his question, though. Thanks for popping in, brother. We really appreciate it. You be safe out there.
Appreciate y'all.
And enjoy the rest
thank
of
you
your
for the
weekend.
channel. Love what you guys do. Once again, shout out to every single one of you, man. Nick, keep on that journey, baby. I'm going to support you every way through. Keep smoking them stogies and taking them shots, Mike. I love it. Breezy,
Yes,
you are
sir.
the perfect energy for the show. And my man right there, I could not remember your name right now, and
Tony.
it drives me insane
Tony,
because I love
Tony,
you
baby.
talk to. You are amazing. Like you, and I like your attitude, like you straightforward and you so gutter with it. But I love it, man. Thank you for bringing me
Thanks.
in. Y'all have a
I
wonderful
appreciate
day.
it. Thanks. Just before you go, real quick, there's a common thing with the Goodwin with the Eagles and Goodwin with the Niners. He's unavailable on both teams.
Tony
So
got
I don't know what he's really
Tony
talking
got that
about.
fire to clap back, yo. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry. He's not available on either
man.
team. So
All right, bro. That's going to do it for Dion. So, fellas, he presented a really good question for us. And he asked, what do we feel about the situation with the opposite corner? All right. So let's discuss this here. Oh, sorry. I thought we took him. I'm sorry. Let's discuss this here, man. He presented a question to us while we get ready to read some comments also. I don't want to be up here. What is happening? I want to be
You know
up
you
top.
like it on top, Mike. Stop playing.
See, now that's a pause.
That's a pause.
I'm
I knew that one was coming, though.
getting back down here in my corner. I'm nice and comfy and cozy down here, So I don't like being on top when I got more space up here. You know what I'm saying? It makes the top of the show look weird. So I think people higher in the camera should be up top. Anyway, don't worry about that. How do we feel about opposite Jason Verrett, guys? Are we concerned about that?
I'm definitely concerned.
Yeah, you are.
I am. And it's not just because of the play of Dante Johnson, and it's not because of the lack of receivers that they have. It's just because it's more so, I should say. It's more so on the strength of Dante Johnson. And the reason is look, this is where it gets tricky, right? You have lack of receivers on the other side, right? When you get an opportunity to come up and play in an NFL game as a practice squad guy, what are you trying to do? You're trying to prove a point. You're going to go balls out, balls to the wall type thing, right? But look, so you're going to play your ass off basically, right? You got something to prove, right? You're playing in a game. What scares me about Dante Johnson is he gives up a lot of penalties. And if these guys are going hard and they're making cuts or getting open or things like that, how is Dante Johnson going to react? Is he going to hook? Is he going to grab? Is he going to get these costly PIs that allow them to continue to move the football down the field to where they're eventually going to score, right? We talked about it yesterday. Field position. Penalties are just as bad as field position. If you give up a penalty, you're giving up good field position, right? We've seen it game in, game out, year after year with different teams where you are costly because of penalties. Now, the Eagles are a very penalized team in the NFL right now, right? But when you got a young guy who's trying to prove something and has this chip on his shoulder and they play extra hard, not that regular players don't play hard, but you have a little extra oomph in your step. How does Dante Johnson react to that? I'm worried about that as in penalty-wise.
Anybody else want to tackle that real quick before we get to the
I agree.
comments?
I agree with what Nick said. Let's face it. They're going to test him. That's number one. Number two, he always makes one or two bonehead plays a game. It's a matter of when and the situation of the game. Majority of the time, in my opinion, if I was the offensive coordinator for the opposing team and it was a 3rd and long situation, I'm going right after Dante Johnson. But on the flip the script here, he did make 2 very solid plays versus the Giants. That fumble that was recovered, I think, by Jordan was caused by Johnson. And then he had coverage, the one cover where I thought they were going to call for a flag, but they didn't, where he reached over. He kind of, from what I saw he wrapped his one arm and he reached over, but he didn't grab. So his arm just went around him and then he just went over like that. That was an excellent play because if he missed that, there was all green real estate in front of that wide receiver. I forgot who it was, but he was going. So he does have the potential to make solid plays, but then on the other hand, he does make those stupid plays that, you know, if it's in the fourth quarter and they're driving, it could be costly for the 49ers.
My only thought on it is this. I'm not worried about Dante Johnson for one main reason here. He excelled in the last couple of preseasons, and I was praising him as saying he looked like one of the best corners on the field. I don't know if you guys remember me saying that. I said he looked better than all the starters and all that, and I got laughed out the room. That's fine. But everyone said, Mike, you got to remember he's going up against third-string wide receivers. Well, guess what's happening this week? He's going up against third-string wide receivers again. So I'm not worried about it. I think he's going to do a clamp-down job here, and you got to remember that this is Mr. Pick Six. Y'all can say what y'all want about my guy from Jersey, but if Carson Wentz is still giving them up and tossing them out there like Deion said he was doing, then why should we expect anything different from Dante Johnson against third-string wide receivers that he clamps down and against a quarterback that's giving up picks? So that's just how I feel about it. You know, I'm not worried about him at all. I think he's going to go out there and have a hell of a game. Go Jersey. I saw you roll your eyes, Breezy. If he was from Connecticut, you'd be all over it. Like,
I'm not.
CT represent.
I'm not hating on your love for this fellow, man. Listen, he's a professional. Okay. At the end of the day, he is a professional for the San Francisco 49ers, right? Look, Dante Johnson is still, I don't know. I think the Dante Johnson that we have is the Dante Johnson we're going to get. I don't think he gets any better or any worse. I think he is who he is on this team. And like Mike said, I kind of like what you said, man. Listen, if he's going up against these guys, you know, that aren't cream of the crop, he should do relatively well. But look, we brought up a cornerback. Didn't we bring up a cornerback who was on the 49ers during the offseason, and they brought him
Taylor,
back
I
in?
believe.
Yeah, I want to say Jonathan Taylor, but that name doesn't sound
Jamar.
right. Jamar Taylor. Thank you. Jonathan Taylor is the running back for the Colts. We brought up Jamar Taylor. It's possible this guy starts and Dante comes in and do whatever, or Dante starts. If he messes up, he'll come in. But I believe wasn't Jamar the slot guy? Wasn't he the guy covering?
He could play both. He could play inside and outside. Okay. And that's why I really thought it was interesting that they brought him onto the practice squad, and potentially they could be putting him on the 53/55, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because if something happens with Johnson and he struggles, you could see Taylor get a crack on the outside.
Yep. And then if Kwan Williams is a no-go, you want to keep your safety back there playing safety, he can go ahead and play on the inside. So, yeah. All you got to do is take out 84. Can't remember his name. Just know his number is 84. You take that guy out, Carson Wentz has to run all day, because I guarantee you Zach Ertz will be bracketed by the safety, which means Tart should be getting some picky sixies going into this game. I can tell you that right now. Picky sixies. I mean, I don't know how I make up words.
All right.
It's great.
Let's get to some of these comments, though.
Yeah, I got a bunch
you have
of
some
comments.
text to read, right?
Yeah, a whole bunch of comments from the text message. All right, so shout out to our man Keenan. Keenan is calling or texting. He says, this is Keenan. Questions for you guys. What's the deal with Quan Alexander? He's starting to look like a liability. What's the deal with Quan Alexander? He's starting to look like a liability. You guys go ahead and take a crack at this joint, man. I won't answer any of these. I'm reading.
I can't answer because I disagree. So I'll let the people who think he's playing poorly respond.
I think he struggled big time in Arizona versus Arizona. But I think that's all because of them looking into the backfield to see what Kyler Murray's doing, whether it's a run, an RPO or a zone read, or if he's going to take off and run with the ball. Versus the Giants, he stepped his game up. There was a couple where I thought he might have taken the wrong angle on Jones, and I know the Freeman only ran for like 20 yards, but the one he broke for I think 8 yards, it should have been a loss, but he took the wrong angle on it. I do think he's still very solid in pass coverage, so I think his game is starting to come back. But and I said this on last night's show, these guys have to play discipline, because you know damn well Doug Peterson's going to call an RPO or an outside a zone option versus this defense, because once they get in the head that there's a threat that this offense could do the zone option, the zone read, it's going to slow them down. Just like we said with Kyle, how he uses the pre-snap motion, they could do that to us to slow our defense down and make them think instead of just react.
So you're saying that he's a liability against the running quarterbacks that disguise the play?
I'm not saying he's a liability. What I'm saying is he could make him think instead of just reacting. Okay. Anybody could become a. The whole defense was a mess for us.
So basically, what happened to the entire defense, not just him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's just like what Kyle did with the Giants. It's the same exact thing. They came up, then boom, there goes that 3rd and 20, third down and 3rd and something. It was a 22-yard game with Trent Taylor. If you put these guys on their heels, I don't give a shit how good you are in defense. You're going to be a step behind. That's every offensive coordinator's goal, to let these defenses think, put them on their heels instead of their toes, because they're going to be a split second in a reaction.
Look, I've been on this train since week 1. I mean, I don't know what it is with Quan Alexander. He's over pursuing a lot more than he was last year. Right? Look, we've seen this issue with him in Tampa. He's running so fast that he's over pursuing tackles. He's missing tackles, looking like he's getting put on his feet, right? On his ass, I should say, basically. Is it something that he can fix? I believe so. Have I seen him, progress since week 1? Yeah, he's come along a little bit. Somebody made a comment in here that said, a lot of it has to do with the way he's playing. Like, people are downgrading Quan Alexander because of how well Fred Warner is playing, right? I don't agree with that. I mean, Fred Warner's playing his game. Like, Quan Alexander shouldn't lose in his game because of the way that somebody else is playing next to him, or players shouldn't, fans shouldn't say that he's not playing well. Look, his tackling has been worse than it was last year. And that's a fact. His tackling was good last year. His tackling hasn't been as good this year as it was last year, as in missing tackles, over pursuing. You can shake your head all you want. You didn't comment, so you have no reason to talk
Are you talking about his tackling pre-injury?
I'm talking about his tackle pre-injury last year was really good.
He hadn't missed any tackles then. Okay, but when he came back and he was playing in the postseason, he was horrible. His
tackling hasn't been as good as it was last year. So that's a proven fact. He's not the guy that came out here for the first 6 weeks last year making crazy amount of tackles. He has a lot more missed tackles this year going into 3 games compared to he did in the entire season that he played last year. So that's where I'm trying to say. He's not up to par where he was when he first became a 49er. That Tampa game, the dude was all over the place, right? Obviously. There were other games that he was really, really, really good. But he just hasn't been that person again. Now, whether it's, injury, whether it's over pursuing, the speed, the overhypeness, whatever it may be, those are things that bother me right now. Can he fix them? Yeah, but I'm still worried about Quan Alexander.
Okay, moving on. That's the Quan talk. All right, so we have another comment. Are you guys worried about the Eagles' interior defensive line versus the 49ers' offensive line? And I know you touched on one player, the one matchup, McGlinchey versus Brandon Graham. But what are your thoughts on that? Let's go backwards. Let's start with Nick, Tony, and then Mike.
Look, I mean, obviously, right, you're going to be worried about the interior offensive line, right, because they haven't been playing well. But the biggest concern for me is, and obviously Mike McGlinchey had a better game last week than he has the 2 weeks prior to that. Mike already touched on this. How is Mike McGlinchey going to react with Brandon Graham? It could be either a really good day if Kyle Shanahan schemes and Mike McGlinchey has the ability to hold up against Brandon Graham. But it could be a really long day if Mike McGlinchey can't hold up against Brandon Graham, which is going to ruin the plans that Kyle Shanahan has of being able to get the football out. So it can go either way. Is it a worry for me? Yes, because Mike McGlinchey is worse in pass pro than he is in run blocking. And that's just the way that Mike McGlinchey is. So,
hey, Jason, don't pick your nose, bro. They can see you now.
Pick my nose. Oh,
no, but 100% that a football game is always won in the trenches. So you should always be worried about either side, right? And when you go up against a Brandon Graham and a Fletcher Cox, those are two prime, defensive guys in the league. So it's always going to be get your check that day, work for it, just not show up. So, yeah, I'm always concerned for that.
Tony, any concern on the interior line?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's a concern. Those two guys in the middle, well, I know Fletcher Cox, but I don't know who they're using on the other side. I know Jerrigan's not there, but they're pretty solid in the interior versus the run. And the Philly fan said Fletcher Cox is not a good pass rusher. I don't know what he was trying to say because I think Fletcher Cox is actually a pretty damn good pass rusher from the inside. I think if I'm correct, and it depends on how they're lined up, I think he's going to be on Tomlinson. And I think Tomlinson needs to have a really solid game this week between Tomlinson and Garland. So I'm definitely concerned on the inside. I think Brunskill, I want to see how he handles the pressure on the inside. I thought he did pretty okay versus the Giants, but let's be real. Fletcher Cox is not on the none of the Giants equal the play of Fletcher Cox. Those are more run defenders than pass rushers. So I'm really, really interested to see the inside of this line and how they play versus this defensive line. And of course, you guys touch on Graham versus McGlinchey. If McGlinchey can't handle him, he's going to get chipped every play, and that's it. They're going to do whatever they could to stop him. And I think Trent Williams could have his hands potentially full with who's the other guy? Josh Sweat from Florida State that they grabbed 2 years ago. He's a true speed guy off the edge, but if Trent gets his hands on him, he's done. But it's going to be interesting because their defensive coordinator, I think, is Schwartz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's going to run an aggressive front. He's going to blitz. He's going to stunt those guys. So it's really going to be interesting. That's, I think, the 49ers go as far as their offensive line will take them on offense, and as far as the game as well. What's up, Jay?
what's up, Tony? What's up, Nick? What's up, Wayne? What's up, Mike? Nice to be here with you guys, man. Just listening. A lot of good conversation.
Yeah, man. So what is your take on the 49ers O-line versus the Eagles D-line?
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much touched on it. If there is a concern with this team, it is interior line, right? Like we saw Laken Tomlinson get worked by Quinnen Williams. He got worked by Leonard Williams a little bit. Shudder to think what it'll look like against a Fletcher Cox, against an Aaron Donald, right? So that definitely has to get cleaned up. And that's something that for all of the things that are not going right for the Eagles, this is actually one of the matchups that are in their favor, I would say, if there are any. Right, it would be this against the offensive line, right? The thing about Mike McGlinchey too, and you guys touched on it. Struggling in pass pro right now, kind of regressing. I know that the stat was floated out there this week about 0 pressures, but the play that he was tossed on his back, the pressure was saved because Brunskill was able to get in front of the lineman and stop that from happening. So, that's why sometimes if you're not watching the game and you're not watching it back, those stats can not really tell the story. It almost really helps for you to watch actually what happened there. So he wasn't credited with the pressure, but he was tossed, and then that's something that, was, we can point to him being a little bit better this week because he definitely was. But there is a concern that in his fourth year, that he still hasn't, his third year, he still hasn't, a number 9 pick still hasn't, he hasn't improved. And I think that's really where my concern comes in. Look, and the other thing is that if I'm a defensive coordinator, right, we know that there's one stone wall on this entire line. Do not even try him as Trent Williams. Send everybody else the other way. Make Mike McGlinchey learn. And that's how I, if I was a defensive coordinator, would attack this defense. Why waste your best pass rusher getting him stonewalled against Trent Williams when you can take advantage of a better matchup on the other side of the line? So that would be my biggest concern going into this game. The 49ers are still going to win this game, but this is the one matchup I feel like the Eagles might have a leg up on the 49ers here.
Good. I think everybody's answered, right? Mike, did you go?
Yeah, I think we're good
Yeah.
there. I think we're good. You got other comments though over there, Breezy? Still?
We do. We have. Before you read Cinnamon Kiss's comment, you can go ahead and read Cinnamon's, and I'll get Sean's up.
All right.
So Cinnamon
has,
says, Cynthia, appreciate you. She says, what is going on right now? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sin says, is there any concern the 49ers' ability to defend versus a read option? Should the Eagles choose to use it?
Yeah, we talked about this. Jason, what do you think about that?
So I think, because I was backstage and I saw you guys talking about Quan real quick, honestly, and I think it's a very interesting discussion, right? And I think that, right. So a lot of the stuff with Quan, right, is a little bit hyper focused right now because, on 49ers Twitter, everybody wants to play GM and say, oh, well, look, he's struggling, so just cut him so we can save this money. And, like I don't think that people really understand how the restructures work and things like that. So that's why I kind of shy away from that sort of discussion on Twitter, just because I'm not as well versed in it, right? Is Quan struggling? Is this defense struggling with the read option? For sure. And you've seen it even on the small scale of Daniel Jones, right? Daniel Jones isn't a mobile quarterback, but he led the team in rushing on zone reads. And John Chapman, I know you guys are probably familiar with him, right? He does a great job with the film breakdowns. He really, really magnified one play in which it's something small that the 49ers can actually fix, right? And fix up. But it is an issue that's happening. So it's a zone read play. And what happens is, I believe it's Kerry Hyder, right? Kerry Hyder is on the line. He's split out on the edge right there. But him and Quan Alexander have to do a gap exchange where DJ Jones, if he watches Kerry Hyder go inside, Quan has to go outside and take protection. I think that's where the lapses are happening. They're just small things. Now, the tackling thing has always been the talking point, for Quan, right? Everybody's always brought that up. When we signed him, oh, it was too much money. Oh, he can't tackle. That's something different. But that portion right there is something that can be fixed. That's really just knowing your assignment, watching how the play breaks down. And it always just seems like Quan is either over pursuing just a bit or he's just not in the right spot. That's all. So, I mean, it's stuff that the good part is that it can be fixed, I believe.
Yeah, I agree with you that it could be fixed. But see, why do I see this different? If you're telling me that's the rule, then Quan is messing up. But I always thought that the rule was that the edge should be containing, right? The end should be containing on the edge, and then Quan was covering that linebacker, on that run because it was a fake handoff. So typically the linebackers cover the running back. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird. Like, I felt like it could go both ways. I felt like they both made a boo-boo there, depending on what was called. Now, we don't know what was called. It's like we don't know the play. But then again, guess who was there for gap coverage? Dante Johnson, and he was just standing there. So and Eric Crocker pointed that out. So we don't really know what's called on that play. I'm learning with you guys. If you're telling me that's the rule, if Hyder crashes in on that zone read, and then Quan is supposed to step back out and fill in the gap to go outside, so if the quarterback goes out, fine, then it's Quan's fault. But I just don't understand, like, who's supposed to be doing what, because I always thought that the end contained. Go ahead, Tony.
This is the thing, and we spoke about this after, I think, the post-game show, the overreaction show. And what happens is on the snap, the defensive end is in a down position, 3-point stance. He takes his first step out of the stance, and he's unblocked, and he's just standing there. So now what happens is the quarterback is reading that defensive end. If he crashes down, he's taking off with the ball. If he doesn't crash and he sets that edge and he plays discipline, the ball is going to the running back. So now just think about it, like, oh my God, Wayne's like real quick. You see that, right? So just think about being in that position. Like, you see the ball snap, you're like, holy shit, I'm unblocked. I'm going to get that guy. So now you just totally don't even think about anything and you just go fly after the running back. You're leaving a huge side of the field wide open because you're trying to go make a play. But kudos to the Giants because they really didn't show that much, and they really watched what Arizona did versus the 49ers defense. So now how it's supposed to work is what Jason said. If he's the quarterback is reading that defensive end and that defensive end chooses to go after the ball carrier, they got to swap positions. So he's crashing in. The outside linebacker is supposed to loop and take outside contain on that play to not give up anything on the outside. That's just basically a communication thing. It's something that could be corrected like that. But listen, man, it happened to me when I played. When I was unblocked, I pinned my ears back and go chase that ball, and then you're like, holy shit, he don't have the ball, and you look, there goes that quarterback running right behind you. So, I mean, it's tough. It's a split-second decision, and, you know, now that they've seen it versus Arizona, they've seen it versus the Giants, they're going to see it versus the Eagles. I think they'll be a lot more prepared to defend it in a proper way. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you think about the Super Bowl, they did it to the Niners in the Super Bowl where there's a miscommunication between Jaquiski Tart and Quan Alexander on who was going to take the pitch man on the option and who was going to take the quarterback. So it's all communication. It's all correctable issues.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely, like I said, when I was touching on him, I was saying it's, you know, it's all, am I worried about it? No. Has he gotten better since week 1? Yeah, but it's all fixable things to what he can do. And, you know, Breezy straight frozen in that smile. I don't know what's going on with Breezy on that.
Everything's going to be all right this week. From that smile, that's going to be mood, right? Somebody take a picture after the game's over, it'd be like big mood for the Niners fans.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that right now.
Can y'all at least hear me? Can we hear me?
We can.
Okay, so F the screen. I can care less what it look like. You know what I'm saying? I can go ahead and strip and do whatever I got to do. But as long as y'all can hear me, it's all good. Hey, baby girl. I know you can't see me because I'm still smiling, but it's what it is. I don't know what's going on, guys. I belong in the Matrix. I was born in the Matrix. I'm going to live in the Matrix, and that's what it's going to be. You feel me? Listen, we got a lot more comments coming in. They are flowing in. Listen, best matchup, Kyle scraping the cookie, also known as the Eagles from his shoe. Do you guys think Witherspoon is done? I don't think he's ever coming back. I take him and Pettis as done. Is Witherspoon the Dante Pettis of the defense? Yeah, I can see what y'all look
absolutely.
Like. Jason's reaction.
That's a great comparison. That's a great comparison, actually, and I like it a lot. I agree. I think they are the guys on the opposite side of the ball. They're viewed the same way in the fan base. Absolutely. That is a great comparison. Yep.
That was Sean, by the way.
Yeah, I agree with that as well too. It's just a confidence thing, right? Like it's like with Spoon. It's Spoon. You know, when Spoon was struggling with the last thing, right? He covers the man, he tracks him the whole way, and then he just loses the ball, and he doesn't know where the ball is, and you know, and you want to say that you can fix that, but it just hasn't been fixed. And you know, and I know he profiles as exactly the type of corner that the 49ers want to have: long, tall, strong, you know, faster. But sometimes it's less about what the stature is of the player, and then more just, you know, football's a mental game, and you have to, the technique is paramount. So yeah.
I just think Okello overthinks on every snap. He's just thinking way too much, and you see it because then there's a snap where he has perfect coverage and he plays the ball perfectly. He's in the receiver's hip pocket, and then all of a sudden you see him just start doing like looking, thinking, and then he'll look and then he'll react. And that's his kryptonite. He's thinking way too much, man.
All right, so Jason, before we let you go, man, I heard you had a hot take for us. I want to know what this is all about.
So on Niners All Day, right? Like, I like to have a little bit of fun. You know, you guys know, like, you know, Tony's been on there. I'm not sure if you guys have too as well. You know, I just joined and things like that. But you know that the mood on Niners All Day is a little bit more laid back. You know, like sometimes we try to be funny, right? So I start off the show, you know, saying that, you know, I've got breaking news that Des Bryant has signed with the 49ers, and Sean like lost it. Like he was like, oh my God, you know, like, and I had him scared for a little bit. So that's what he's talking about. Like, you know, yeah. So that's really the root of that. Honestly, I like to inject a little humor into what we do, you know, and I try to, you know, I like to stay, you know, on football, but also, you know, try to be a little bit more entertaining. And yeah, Sean, I definitely caught Sean out there with that one. So I think that's what he's referring to.
All right, Jason, give me the your outtake on the game this weekend, and give me a final score prediction.
Right, like, I mean, guys, like, I don't want to overthink this. You know, I caught a lot of heat on Twitter the last 2 weeks by saying, you know, it's the Jets and the Giants. I don't care who's on the field. The 49ers are still going to field the better team, come out with a better game plan. And I feel like that's the same thing that's going to happen this week. I mean, the 49ers are in a spot where now we're healthier. You know, I agree with that. What's up? I forget his name too. He's always on Niners All Day too. But yeah, man. But you know, the starting receivers, Greg Ward, John Hightower, maybe Quez Watkins. Like this feels like a game where you have to clamp down on Ertz, make somebody else beat you. I'm not necessarily afraid of any of those things. Give me Debo on a pitch count. Give me Kittle back. This should be a big Kittle game with Nick Mullins and everything as well too. Yeah, I got the 49ers winning this game 31-17, man. I foresee some garbage time touchdown at the end, but I just don't know where the offense is going to come from with the Eagles. There's something funky going on aside from the injuries with play calling, Carson Wentz regressing, missing reads and things like that. And it's just a perfect storm for the 49ers to come out and get another win against a team that they absolutely should.
Well said, man. All right, buddy. We appreciate you
guys. And I gotta, Mike, I'm gonna follow you. I follow the rest of you guys. Let's link. We'll get on Niners all day. I got my own thing now too on Wednesdays with 49ers Noir, so we can get you guys on there too as well. So it's great to be here with you guys, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
Appreciate you, Jason. We got to link up too, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. On, man. I would have been there this week, but my little one was acting up, so I couldn't, I couldn't leave her, So
yeah, no, I hear you, man. I hear you. No worries.
Later, guys.
All right, CJ.
All right.
Man, that was dope. Listen, we got a bunch of more, and I know, we got to get through this show. We're going to get through it really quickly, but we have a bunch of more. Look, I'm catching up. I'm in the Matrix.
That shit is so funny.
That was like you guys watch scary movies, and you know how they do the flickering? That was dope. All right.
Bro,
hey, y'all better follow.
All right, so we figured it out. It's anytime that there's more than 4 of us on here.
See, Mike's behind the scene trying to compute the math and what's going on behind the scene. Mike's always looking for the answer, and he figured it out. All right. So it's something about the bandwidth, and I think it has to do with the online bandwidth, this being a browser and not opposed to being an app. But we'll talk about that off the air. All right. So DeMarcus has a question for us, man. DeMarcus says, hey, do we keep Hasty and Jeff Wilson on the roster since there's game tape out on them? Do we keep both of them on the roster?
Yeah, this is the question I've been trying to ask for the last 2 weeks, right? Like, what are the 49ers going to do with JaMychal Hasty? Like, you can only throw him back to the practice squad one more time, and he's available for waivers. So if you have to bring him up again, you can't protect him anymore. I think he's already been protected twice. So this will be his second call up, and I believe the next time we go down or he goes down, he's acceptable to waivers. So what are the 49ers going to do? Like, are you going to take the chance on losing him? Look, we know Raheem Mostert's still out this week. Is Raheem Mostert going to play, next week? Is JaMychal Hasty going to be a factor? Like, I've been asking this question is, who's the odd man out? Like, Tevin Coleman? Is it Jeff Wilson Jr.? Is it, I have no idea what this team is going to do, but I know that they can't afford to lose this guy. As in, just in case something happens to one of our running backs, we don't have anybody to call up. I think he's the only running back on the practice squad, right?
I believe so, Nick. To be honest with you, I think he's the only running back on the practice squad. I think we're running really thin on the running back, so don't be surprised. I could be wrong.
I'm looking it up right now. The practice squad has, oh damn, that's an injury list. I'm like,
mad people on it, right?
No, Walter. There's Walter down there.
Okay. Walter.
Walter and Hasty are the 2 running backs there.
All right, yeah. So Hasty's the only running back.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, just joking around. Okay.
You guys are too much. All right, listen. Did Nick answer the question? Because I can't really tell if he answered the question.
Dude, I have no clue. I'm being serious. I have no clue what this team is going to do.
You did mention, Nick, that you said that how many times can a running back be protected? 3 times?
Twice.
So twice. So this is his second protection. Yeah, you're right. This is it. He's either going to get called up, someone else is going to get cut, or we're going to put him back on the practice squad and take our chances. Those are the 3 options. right?
Now, what you can do is just not play him as much right now, and hope that you can get him. And if you need him, then call him up and then give him playtime.
What do you mean not play him as much? What, like, I don't mean.
I'm saying don't put a lot of tape on him.
Oh yeah.
Right
But
now,
I mean,
right now, when he's acceptable to go on waivers to where.
Correct.
So then after this week, if you still need him, then if you have to bring him up again, then play him and just keep him on the 53.
If you can keep
that's where you have to make that decision.
Right. If he clears waivers though.
Right.
So that it's all a big if, you know what I'm saying? Like it's look, will Hasty get a couple of touches this game? Yes. Depending on what happens. Now, if running backs go down in this particular game, Hasty's going to have to get some touches, right? And we are hoping his touches will be productive. So listen, we got another question. This is from Melissa, and this is going to be from Mike. All right, Mike should, I think she meant to put, Mike should smoke a cigar to Nick or pass a cigar to Nick if right 2 weeks in a row about big leads for the 49ers after all that ish he gave him on the overreaction show. So Nick she probably missed a word, but Nick talked about the 49ers blowing out the New York Football Giants. And she's pretty much saying, Mike, you should, I guess, I don't know what she's saying. But going into
okay, I get what she's saying. She's saying that I owe Nick a cigar if he's right. Did you call this one? You said the Eagles game was gonna be a blowout also?
I don't know what Nick said about the blowout.
I didn't give our score prediction yet.
She's saying if he does though. So if Nick calls this game as a blowout and Mike, you right. Don't, and he's right, then you should do a cigar for him, I guess. Okay. But she also says going into week 4, who is your guys' favorite walk-off free agency signing that impressed you the most, and you can see having a breakout year for us? She has 3 questions. So that's the second one.
Our free agent signing that has impressed us the most.
Yep, going into week 4. Who's our most impressive free agency signing? Sanu was one.
Dante Johnson. That's my answer.
Okay. Dante Johnson. And last question. Who should we extend first? Trent Williams or Fred Warner? Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to see them go, and I think they both earned it. We'll let Mike answer and Nick, so you guys both can answer.
I'm going to say Fred Warner.
Ooh. Nick?
I think they both need to be signed, so don't get me wrong here. But I am going to go with Fred Warner as well. He's the heart and soul of this defense, and you have to build around him as more. As much as I love Trent Williams, I think Fred Warner is a guy who's been here, has stepped in more than what he should have. And that what I mean by that is his first year, he was, starting middle linebacker. He was kind of thrown into the reins, into the fire. And, I think the kid deserves it. He's come a long way. I've been hard on him, especially last year. Just because I expect more of him. I expected more of him because he's a hell of an athlete. So I'm going to go with Fred Warner first.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the left tackle. Okay, I'm going to go with the left tackle. This is no disrespect to Fred Warner and what he does. I believe they can find a way to extend him and get him a deal for middle linebackers. But I think the one that they're going to probably try to tack on first is Trent Williams, because you want your offensive line solidified to protect your quarterback. And I believe that if you have an intricate piece, like, I'm not saying Fred Warner can be replaced. I'm just saying Trent Williams can't be replaced unless, there's a guy coming out in the draft that you feel is going to be come in and step up and be the speed guy and the good pass protecting guy. I just think that's a key piece that you want going forward for how many years you can get from him. I think you go with Trent here first. I'm old school. I believe in protecting the quarterback. We watched this team draft linebackers really well. Okay. And this might mean if Fred Warner is a no-go, if they can't figure out a way to extend him or whatever, hey, Dre Greenlaw can play the Mike linebacker. Okay. Anyone here waiting for Breezy to go fast? Listen, Jason brought the Matrix and I was stuck. Okay. Get over it. He is gone. I'm no longer doing glitchies, and I'm back. All right. Nah, I'm just messing with you guys. Guys, I'm back, man. I can't control the bandwidth, baby. I can't control it, Nick. I can't. We got a few more comments. We got about 4 more, and we're going to get up out of here, right? Will we see 2 tight end sets versus the Eagles? Kittle, Dwelly, Rolls Royce out. This is from Rolls Royce.
Yeah, David, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. I do think we see more 2 tight end sets. I think we do see 2 tight end sets, and I said this yesterday. I would like to see a lot more 21 personnel. And what I mean by that is I want to see Ayuk on one side, Debo on the other as the outside guys, Kittle in a slot, and Kyle Juszczyk in the other slot, and with a 4 wide receiver set. But Kyle Juszczyk would be motioned out, so it'd be 21 personnel. But I also do want to see a little bit of Ross Dwelly and Kittle on the field at the same time.
Nice. Same here. You guys, I'm big on tight ends, man. I like to see some 13 personnel, to be honest with you. 1 running back. It would be crazy if we line up in 13 personnel. That's 3 tight ends. Who's that? Warner, Dwelly, and Kittle, right? And you put Juice as that 1 running back in the backfield. That would be crazy. Don't know what we would run out of it. Obviously, it wouldn't be a run play, but it would be crazy to see something come out of that. Because who you're going to cover, they're all great pass catchers. Obviously, want to probably stay in the block, maybe 2. So it would help boost up that offensive line a little bit. But I would like to see some 13 personnel. This is the game we might see something different. Remember, I said Kyle might come out a little bit different. Nick, who is going to be the star on the D-line this weekend? To step up, it's going to be Hyder again, or someone else. So this is Matt Murphy. Will it be Kerry Hyder, or somebody else step up to be the star?
All right. So I had a hot take on our show with our crossover edition, and I said Javon Kinlaw. And I said Javon Kinlaw is going to have 3 sacks this week. So I'm going to go with Javon Kinlaw.
Woo! Defensive star. Does it have to be on the line? I think that the line is just going to play, their typical football. I got someone in the secondary being the star. Listen, I'm really big on our safeties. I know people don't like our safeties because they're not the what do we call those transcending game changer Jamal Adams type, the Minkah Fitzpatricks. They don't bring those specific sets of skills to our game. But I just think this is a game that, again, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go with Jaquiski Tartt. I think he has a big game. Why? Because if you're putting a linebacker to cover Zach Ertz, I think Tartt in that bracket will be the one that's going to be able to pick routes. Okay. I'm not super worried about them in the run game. So why would we see Tartt in the box? You get what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I think Tartt has a great game, and I think Jimmy Ward is going to be used for help a lot. So expect him to break up some plays. But I think the safeties play well in this particular game, and I'm going with my guy Tartt. So I didn't pick a lineman. I don't think that was the question. I think we have one more. Let's see. All right, so this is from DeMarcus again. He says, do you guys think we should bring up Jennings? Oh my gosh, I forgot about Jennings. Did you forget about Jennings? I totally forgot about Jennings. You didn't?
No, wow. I mean, I didn't forget about him, but where are you going to put him right now? So you're getting healthy again, right? If he wasn't called up when we were unhealthy at the receiver position, there's something going on. He needs to learn the playbook. He needs to get more affiliated with the offense, something on those terms, right? So if we call him up, what is he really going to do, right? You got guys that are sitting there that are inactive or not taking a lot of snaps in Dante Pettis. Look, the team is, I think that the team is trying to get Jennings to a place where they feel comfortable with him. And then I think you could see Dante Pettis making his way out. And I think that's what they're kind of trying to do. Don't show tape on Jennings. Keep him stashed on the practice squad. Get him up to par. Get him knowing this offense. Get him knowing the offense and affiliated with the playbook. And then you can part ways with somebody. And then you have a Jennings who can grow in the system when he comes up. And then obviously Debo and Ayuk. So, look, I think that's what their plan is with Jennings.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. And that's something that Kyle Shanahan does well with. You've seen coaches do well with this. Great coaches do well with finding ways to stash talent on their practice squad and not unleashing it until the time was right. You know what I'm saying? And this could be one of those Jennings moments. Don't forget, next year we're supposed to get back Jalen Hurd, and having him and Jennings on this team going into next year might be pretty cool. And you might see more of a camp battle between those guys, because both of those guys are big body receivers, and that might be something that we can look forward to going into the future. Nick, I think that's it for our comments, man. I know Jersey Joe, I believe he wanted to get on. I don't know if we have time to get another person on the show, but I know we have to get up out of here. So I tell Jersey Joe we definitely could get him on the next show, man. You know what I'm saying? He wants to be as a guest. But listen, guys, this was a great show. It was a great show. I love when the fans get to interact. They get to kind of like speak their mind. We know we see it flowing through this little comment section or whatever, but it's cool when they get their comments actually read on the air, and as well as prepare as guests on the show. I just want to ask this question. Where else can you go to get the best 49ers news and a movie in the same show? You guys got to watch Nothing But Niners and The Matrix at the same time. Holla at your boy. Breezy is in the building. Nick is flying around because he's thinking I'm Neo from The Matrix. I'll be Neo. Neo's cool. You know what I'm saying? Neo.
Look, man, obviously, it's a lot shorter than it normally is today. Normally we do a 2-hour show or more on Saturdays, but myself have something planned that I have to do. Mike has something that he has to do. So we just figured we jump on and give it to you guys a little bit earlier. I appreciate all you guys, man. We've been going strong for an hour and 27 minutes. We said we were only going to be on for an hour. 220, 240 people in here consistently. So
smash that like button, y'all.
Hit that like button, man. Share the love. And Breezy, before we get out of here, man, I need a score prediction for you.
Score prediction. Nice. Listen, man, I got the 49ers putting up like a 38 burger. You know what I'm saying? Probably 38 to 41 in that range. All right. I have them only giving up 13 points. 17 max. 17 max. 13. So I got it, 38-13 or 41-17. How about that? Can I do that? Can I do that, Nick?
Yeah, that's what you can do.
Okay.
Look, I don't think this game's going to be close either, but I think I think we're going to be in control of the game, but I'm going to go with 28-17 this week.
Okay.
And that's what my score prediction is going to be. I'm going to keep it the same as that I had on the other show. I'm going to go 28-17. Look, I think Kyle Shanahan dials some things up this week that, we just come out and dominate. And Mike was talking about it on the last show that, once Kyle Shanahan kind of talked about that every game is very important and such and all this other stuff. Look, this game's just as important as the last game. Injured or not, my Eagles friends were all talking shit to me all year. I texted him today and I'm like, hey, you ready for this Eagles-Niners game? He's like, nope. I hope we lose them all. Like, come on, bro.
Oh man, but they're Tank Lawrence in it. They're Trevor with Lawrence in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So they're like, we hope we lose it all. Blah blah blah. I was really looking forward to this game, just because a lot of my friends are Eagles fans, and just to be able to rub it in their face. I'm like, look, man, we're both injured. This game could go either way, but we're still gonna beat you. And either way, like I said, 28-17. You got 41-17. Look, man. Either way, let's just pull out this W. And stay healthy, as healthy as we possibly can.
Quick pro, Nick. Did you know that the 49ers are averaging 29 points a game? You have it 1 point less than the average. I just wanted to point that out. And that's why I have us scoring in the 30s, because we started at 20 and we've just been increasing in the 30s ever since. And I think that is the cap that's pulled off of this offense. That's the little layer that Kyle has peeled back just a little bit. So I think that they're going to continue to score in the 30s, and I hope I have them as high as I said. You know what I'm saying? Before we get off the show, I definitely want to give a shout out to my Nothing But Niners family. They're always holding it down. Shout out to everybody out there that has followed or subscribed to Shoot the Breeze. Listen, my Shoot the Breeze channel is branching off to different shows. Okay, I'm trying to do just about everything. If you haven't known me by now, I love to talk about anything. I'll talk about underwear and panties for all I care if I have to. So make sure you follow each pause, you subscribe to each channel or whatnot. Tomorrow morning, guys, we're gonna have our guy Dion on the show, on the Sizzling Sunday show. So make sure you subscribe to that channel and tune in. It's gonna be early in the morning. So for all you on the West Coast, that's like 6 a.m. But listen, they're gonna be bringing some dope food specials. So I can't wait to see Dion go against another Philadelphia's Eagle person named Dion. It's gonna be crazy. Like Dion versus Dion. So they're going to be talking about the game, breaking it down. And then on Monday, we're going to be doing our nitty-gritty Niners talk with my man, Donnie Fortino, man. So, guys, make sure you subscribe to those channels. If you're 49er fans, you definitely want to be subscribed to those. Those are 49ers based, all right? I know a lot of you probably like, Breezy talk too much about everything. So I just wanted to specify what those two channels were about. And if you want to follow Shoot the Breeze, be my guest, because that's what you've been doing. So I appreciate your love and support. Nick, have fun at your party today. I got to do a wedding in New York, man. A nice little secluded wedding, COVID, safe, all that good stuff. So I'm going to get up and get out of here as well, bro.
Yeah, Breezy, appreciate you, man. You got to get my ass on that nitty-gritty talk, though.
See, I'm scared to put you on the nitty-gritty because you're so reserved here. I'm scared if you really let it out, like on the nitty-gritty show, you're gonna. I don't want you to hurt your, Nah, F it. You coming on the show, baby. Be ready for the link on Monday. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, let me know, man. Let me know. But, guys, man, we appreciate you guys. All the love, all the support that you guys throw us over here, as well as Shoot the Breeze and every other 49er Avenue and podcast or whatever you guys listen to, man. Hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget, send us to a friend. And above all else, stay faithful. Hit that like and subscribe button. Go Niners. And prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always
remain faithful. We out, baby.
I'ma confess it. We under the pressure.